Hello everyone, a very Merry Christmas to you and a happy last week of school. Hope you're having a good one so far. Now then, our theme of the week for this final thought bubble of the year is the second coming. And if you're thinking, what on earth does that mean? Stick with me and we'll find out together. Now, in collective worship over the last couple of weeks, we've been thinking about Advent, and specifically those 4 Advent candles. The first one representing hope, the second one representing peace, the third one, the pink one, representing joy, and the fourth and final one representing love. And we've thought about how we can feel a hope, a peace, and a joy that is unlike anything else in the world because it's based on the fourth one, the love of God. Now, over here, you might have noticed I have a lovely, beautiful collection of Advent calendars. I wonder if you've got an Advent calendar this year and what yours is. Now, Advent, it's a funny old word. What does it mean though, the word Advent? It means arrival. That's what the word Advent means. And so with our lovely Advent calendars, what we do with them is we count down till the arrival of the final day, Christmas. Now, this one has a very special 24th window. It's the only acceptable time of year where you can break down doors. And this Advent calendar is unlike any other because, well, you can get a few like this, but you go through all the doors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to fall into that trap. You thought I would. I won't. I'm not going to. So this one has a special 24th door. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really like waiting. Do you? We're not a very patient bunch in society these days. We don't like sitting around and waiting for things, but Advent calendars kind of force us to wait. I mean, we would love to just jump ahead to 24 and find out what the special surprise is, but we have to wait. And so we have to go day by day by day, waiting, knowing that something good is gonna come. And that's what Advent truly is about. Waiting for something good that we know is gonna come. We have this promise that one day, when day 24 arrives, we will get something fantastic, but we have to wait until then. And you know, when Jesus was predicted and prophesied in the Bible, in the Old Testament, that's what the people went through. God said to them, look, you're going to have this amazing gift, but you have to wait. I'm not going to send him straight away. You are going to have to wait for this incredible gift that is like no other. And so, 700 years before Jesus was born, there was a man, a prophet of God called Isaiah. And in chapter 9 in the book of Isaiah in the Old Testament of the Bible, we read this: "The people walking in darkness will see a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light will dawn." Now, what is the light that Isaiah is talking about? The people at the time wouldn't have known exactly what it was going to be, but they had God's promise that he was one day in the future going to do something amazing. Isaiah talks about people living in the land of darkness. Maybe you feel like that. Maybe you feel in your life like everything's just dark. There's no kind of hope. There's no kind of peace. There's no kind of joy. It's like you're living in the land of darkness. And you're looking around thinking, well, what good thing is there? Where is the light? The people back then felt just like that. And God sent Isaiah to tell them a light is going to dawn. There is going to come an amazing gift, but you're going to have to wait. Now, one of those people who waited and waited and waited was a man called Simeon. Simeon lived in the temple, and he knew all about Isaiah and all of the other prophecies that were talking about this light that was one day going to come. And Simeon saw the light with his own two eyes. He was alive at the time when God revealed what that light was, this mysterious light God had promised that was going to change everything. Simeon saw it. Well, I shouldn't say it, because the light isn't a thing. The light that God was going to send was a person. Jesus Christ was the light. And Simeon held this little baby in his hands, and he said this: "Now I have seen your salvation, God, which you have prepared for all people. He is a light to reveal God to all the nations." That's who Jesus was going to be. Jesus was going to be this hope of all hopes, this peace of all peaces, this joy of all joys. For the people living in darkness, who had no hope, no joy, no peace in this sinful, broken, depressing world, Jesus was going to bring hope and peace and joy and light. And Simeon was so glad when he finally got to see the promised gift that God was going to send. Now, the question is, what's so special about this gift? What is so special about Jesus? Well, he was going to do something that you and I could never do. He was going to make us right with God. See, this baby was born and laid down in a wooden manger, but he would grow up to be a man laid down on a wooden cross. You know, the greatest gift in all of the world wasn't placed under a tree. The greatest gift in all of the world was beaten and nailed to a tree, nailed to a cross. You see, Jesus lived a perfect life, not like you and me, where we make mistakes and we mess up and we sin. Jesus never offended God like we do with our lives. Jesus never upset God like we do with our lives. Jesus was perfect, and yet he chose to do the unthinkable. He chose to give up his life as a sacrifice for you and for me. He took all of the punishment that I deserve for my sin, and he can take all the punishment that you deserve for yours. Jesus became a sacrifice to take away all of the punishment for our sin so that we could be forgiven, so that we could have heaven given as a gift. Heaven isn't something you have to earn, you know? The Bible doesn't say you have to try and be a good person and work your way into heaven. You won't find that anywhere in the Bible. The good news of Christmas, the good news of this book, is that Jesus gives us the gift of heaven for free because he has paid the price. He has paid the cost. Jesus died for you and for me. But he didn't stay dead. He rose to life and rose back to heaven so that you and I could rise to heaven with him after we die. He simply says to all of us, trust me. Turn from the way you're living without me and follow me. And I will give you this gift. I will be to you hope. I will be a peace unlike any other peace. I will be a joy that is better than anything you will ever experience, because this is what you were made for. And so, Christians today, we have Jesus in heaven as our greatest gift. But I said our theme of the week was the second coming. Now, Christmas was the first coming of Jesus. But just like the people in the Old Testament had a promise that this light was one day going to come, this first coming to earth, we today have another promise that Jesus is going to return, that he is going to come back to earth again at some point. This is going to be his second coming. And in the book of Revelation, the last book in the Bible, the prophet John says this: God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Maybe you're someone who wonders, why doesn't God just get rid of all the sickness, get rid of all the suffering, get rid of all the death? The good news is he actually promises to do just that. He promises to do that for those who would trust in Jesus. And in heaven, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be incredible. That's what we have to look forward to. This gift of heaven that God can give to us is going to be the most amazing place. And above all, it's going to be the place where our Creator is, the one who loves you more than anyone else could ever love you, the one who sent his Son to die for you so that he could bring you back to him and give you the greatest gift that there has ever been and will ever be. And here's what John says about the light in heaven. He says, the city of heaven has no need for the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives it light, and its lamp is the Lamb. The Lamb that he's talking about is Jesus. He was the Lamb who was sacrificed for you and for me, to take away our sin, to pay for our crimes against God, and to instead give us life, give us hope that goes beyond the grave. And so you can live life knowing that anything can happen to you. Any terrible suffering or sorrow might happen to you, but you have this one amazing hope, this one incredible peace, this one unshakable joy that God has loved you and will forever love you. All we simply have to do is come as a sinner to Jesus and find from him the greatest gift that there will ever be. Merry Christmas, everyone.